Wow, how about that intro graphic?
Woo!
We do
exciting.
not play. Welcome to the Flash After Show on the #1 fan show network. This is theStream.tv. What is up, everybody? I am Dylan Landon. Thank you for being here, joined by my trusty co-hosts.
Devon Stewart, as usual, the #1 Flash fan of all time. Go ahead and say something about it.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Lauren Mayhew. Happy to be here.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's your British boy Jack Hind. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Well, I'm glad that you guys threw in your own nicknames because since this is a
Well,
superhero
we had to make
show,
it up. Everyone else was kind of going. I was
This
like,
is perfect. It's a superhero
Improv.
show, so I think it's a great time to go by my alter ego. What's up, everybody? I'm the hype guy, Dylan Landon. So if you guys next week want to come through with your nicknames,
Our own
let's
little
do it.
superhero names.
That's awesome.
your
I
own
like it.
names.
I'm down.
I feel like we should almost name each other. Oh.
Well, I'm the Black Flash. I don't give a
I'm
damn
the
what nobody says. I don't care what nobody says.
You guys see the time we're having here with each other, so go ahead and invite your friends. Let them know this is the place to be because, guys, this is not just a Flash After Show. This is your destination for all things Flash. Now, before we get to the show, we want to give a quick shout out to the Flash Podcast at the Flash Podcast. Hit them up on Twitter and at their website. They got a lot of good stuff going on. But right now, before we get into tonight's episode, let's go a little recap of what happened last week. It was the season premiere of The Flash on the CW, and guess what, guys?
What?
It was their best premiere in the last 5 years,
Wow.
and the second best of all time.
Because it's the
4.8.
Flash.
Because it's
Thank
the
you.
Flash.
Or do you think it's because we gave them such great talking points in review?
Definitely.
I think it's.
yeah.
I
I'm
think
gonna
we
go-
maybe had something. No.
Yeah, that too, but also because
have
it's the
something
Flash.
to do with it.
So let's not forget
And-
it's the Flash.
If we're just full disclosure, Vampire Diaries was #1. So if it wasn't for them, The Flash would be the #1 of all time on CW.
Because
so.
twin
Everybody likes
vampires
having
have
sex with
taken over the
vampires
DCU.
now, right?
I know.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Vampires
It's
are
all
out and superheroes are in. And not only superheroes, but super villains. And when episode 1 ended last week, we saw kind of a little twist. We saw Harrison Wells stand up out of his wheelchair and get a little attitude like something's not right. So we try to figure out who this Harrison Wells is because he has no existence within DC Comics, but created for the show. So our friends at Screen Rant, they helped us out to decode who that might be. This is what they said. You know, the comics also included a wheelchair-bound friend of the Flash who made his mission to help the speedster become a better hero through loss. He went by the name of Hunter Zolomon, the second Reverse Flash.
All right, I just want to say
Dun dun
something real quick.
dun.
So it seems that Harrison Wells may or may not be based on Hunter Zolomon, who is the Reverse Flash.
So, my thoughts on this, and feel free to debate, that's what us nerd people do. I think they're taking the focus away from Eddie Thawne actually being the first Reverse Flash, you know what I'm saying? And just going ahead and laying it out that Hunter Zolomon with the whole, like, we see the future and this and that, because they also set us up with something else that we'll talk about a little bit later. But yes, I can see him being Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he has his abilities right now or not. For him to come back into the past, it's kind of, you know,
Is that why it's
questionable.
ironic that he's in a chair?
Yeah, you know what
I
I'm
mean?
saying? Because he keeps standing up, so maybe he does have the abilities, maybe he doesn't. I don't really know.
Well, we also have some cool stuff to show you. If you guys missed it this week, there was a photo posted from the Vancouver set of The Flash of the Reverse Flash in costume. Now, you can't zoom in and try to see who it is because those are some stunt doubles, but that is the Reverse Flash in costume. Pretty cool imaging for the costume, the black and the yellow. Really cool. What do you guys think about that?
It's nowhere near as nice as the red suit, is it?
Well, the thing-
Or the
No way.
scarlet suit, as
Yes,
you said.
thank you very much. Thank you very
The
much for
dark
clearing that
red
up.
suit.
But I mean, it's cool. I just, you know, Zoom and Professor Zoom, they got the all yellow. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
was expecting
exactly.
that with the red bolts.
With
and
the red
whatnot,
bolts and the red
red
stripe.
electricity.
Yeah.
I would have liked that more. I don't know why he's half black. It looked like he just stepped out of like
Well,
a
he's
car.
Trying to
Thank
make
you.
it look a little bit dark
Thank
in it.
you.
And like
Dipped
trying to
in.
dim it.
Yeah,
a
like
little
somebody
bit.
took him to like dip.
A
Make him
gigantic
look like a
Teletubby
villain.
walking around in bright yellow. I don't know how.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's doing like
Exactly.
Teletubby.
Well, we
guys
didn't
are
think
good.
that about a guy in a big red suit.
Well,
Look at
because
him
it's
now.
The Flash.
Okay, thank you
And that's
very
why they
much.
made it a darker
That's why I
color.
like you. That's why I like you.
So episode 1, we did see Barry in Star Labs get introduced to the Treadmill. So now we were talking out while the episode was happening. Maybe this was the cosmic treadmill. And for anybody out there who doesn't know, I even want to be schooled a little bit. What is the cosmic treadmill?
Well,
Devon.
well, the Cosmic Treadmill is a big player in creating Hunter Zolomon because him trying to cure his whole paraplegic abilities and whatnot, he starts experimenting with the whole Cosmic Treadmill, and then there's an explosion, an accident, and the way he gets his abilities is he shifted they say subsequently, that's the
Right.
word, right?
Subsequently.
You got it.
ahead
You're on
in
it.
time. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess a split second ahead in time. So he can, and then he starts being able to control like the time or whatever around him, something like that. His abilities
That
are
actually
different.
makes a lot of sense then, why
Yeah.
he's the one who's seeing into the future.
That's
Being
what I'm
that
saying.
second ahead, and now he's worked out how
and
to.
it's like
make that
instead
further.
of where Professor Zoom had his actually like his abilities mimicked Barry Allen,
Yeah.
his are like a little different, but using them to the extent like he has.
So do you
speed
guys
force.
think maybe Harrison Wells came back in time, told the current Harrison Wells how to use the treadmill to go forward?
Absolutely. I think actually that, you were talking about earlier, like if he actually has the powers or not. I think that we don't really know which form that we're seeing of him right now. Like it could be a future version, halfway into the future version, a past, like we don't know. And I think that that's why, he obviously has, intellect of like what's going to happen. And so maybe that's why this version of him is not actually crippled.
Yeah.
And like you say, he lost his freedom. His freedom could be his power of speed.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Maybe.
Who knows at this
Ooh,
point?
Oh, that's
subtext.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's his freedom. His
Metaphors.
I love it. A lot going on in this episode. We thought episode 2 really, because the first episode you got to like kind of get everything out there and
Yeah.
explain who the character is.
It's a lot of information.
Totally.
Yeah.
And now episode 2 kind of started to really flow and nice. And we met a new character and a new villain, Danton Black. We got to learn who he was a little bit. But for anybody who doesn't know, so who is Multiplex?
Well, everybody's looking at me, so let me
Take
go
it.
ahead and bring it front and center. All right. Multiplex is the guy, Danton Black. In the comic books, he was the assistant to Martin Stein, quote unquote, who we've been foreshadowing as Firestorm. Well, the other half of Firestorm, because we all know the other half is Ronnie Raymond, who was, is it Raymond? I forgot his last name. It's Ronnie.
Ronnie Amell? Or Robbie Amell in
Robbie
real
Amell,
life?
who plays, I think his name is Ronnie Raymond.
And then Ronnie in the show. It
Yeah,
will be Ronnie,
in the show.
yes.
So Ronnie and Martin become Firestorm, and in the comics, Multiplex, Danton Black, was mutated by the same accident that created them. Well, in the show, it was the dark matter, the explosion. The same explosion is kind of the foundation for everybody in this one. So now that we see Danton Black, I'm assuming Firestorm is only a few steps away. You see?
Yeah, while we mentioned Firestorm, Victor Garber has been cast as one half of Firestorm. Now, I know Victor Garber as Mr. Andrews from Titanic. You might know him from
That's so true.
what show he's on? Ally McBeal or something like
Yeah,
that?
one of those
or
kind of-
something like that.
That was great.
Mr. Andrews.
Isn't it so great when you have a person who typically plays, kind of dorky or offbeat characters and then
And then
play
they
either a
come-
super villain or a superhero? It's
Yeah.
so crazy to see them in such a different light.
Totally. So, this guy Stagg, we just see him pass away. So
Yeah.
how his death, I'm sure in the DC universe, he doesn't just disappear like that. Are we going to see a ripple effect from his death?
We should. I mean, Stagg was around for a while. He's in the comics. He's not so much like a metahuman or anything. He's more just like this businessman
He's the
CEO
business guy.
who's like always finagling in something.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Lex Luthor is. I'm not putting him on par with Lex Luthor. Don't misinterpret my wording, but I'm just giving you an example.
What I want to know
You
is
what I'm
how's
saying?
Harrison Wells going to get away with killing him?
And see,
is
that's
his
the
murder
thing.
easy for
True.
Harrison Wells now? Like,
I guess,
Is
you
he
know.
that good? Is he that ahead of time that he knows how to just stab someone and now he's not going to get arrested?
Like this
for it?
super rich guy's got to have some security in there.
Somebody.
or
Like, you know what I
something,
mean?
some
Well, he had
security
security in there,
cameras.
then they all got.
Well, I guess they come
ruined,
to the
didn't they?
crime like the guy in the wheelchair obviously couldn't have killed him. Who
Right.
did? And he's like,
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah,
I
exactly.
just,
It's like, it weren't me, I was just there.
Yeah, I was just
Little
sitting
me,
here.
little me. just
Not like I could do
move around.
something. I'm in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying?
We just want to give a quick shout out to everybody watching on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is theStream.tv, your #1 fan show network for all after shows and even some more premium content. Thank you to Bob's Nehar, Eric Cordo, and the Creative Concepts teams. Thank you for being here. We love having you. So, guys, send us your tweets using the #FlashAS hashtag. Hit us up on the comments on YouTube, and we're going to respond to you because that's how we do.
Speaking
how
of
we
that,
roll.
creative
That's what we
concepts,
doing.
I think we've talked before. What's up? Or man or woman? What's
Whoever
up?
the creative concept family is.
So we saw an interesting take in episode 2. The relationship between Joe, West, and Barry kind of got heated and kind of explained where they are as a, whether it's a father-son relationship and whatnot. So if you were Barry Allen, where would your allegiances lie? Would they lie with Joe West or Harrison Wells?
I mean, I think this is kind of a given. You have to go with the person who has raised you
yeah.
your entire life. I mean, just like he said, he's sat next to him, when he was afraid of the dark and, just everything. He taught him how to shave, all these things. I mean, I don't think that some person coming into your life for the last, I don't even know how long, month or something, can equate for an entire lifetime of memories.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with Lauren as well. Seeing that, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, the scene when Joe blew up at Barry, Barry blew up at Joe, that was too much to handle. That was so emotional.
Actually,
I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of emotional. I
I'm
enjoyed
so
it.
glad that it actually ended up resolving because I was
Yeah.
kind of worried because, you know, Barry's kind of put up there as this, you know, very, you know, just positive figure. And, you know, we kind of look up to him to do what's right.
Yeah.
And to see him lash out at Joe so much like that, it was kind of, ooh, it hurt me.
I agree.
say-
I'm glad that at the end it all worked out where he's like, you have been my father.
Yeah.
And you know what? After we get back from a commercial break, I'm going to think about what movie that reminded me of. So when we come back from break, we got fan questions and an all-new segment, the Stream Dream Casting. I know it sounds exciting. We're going to tell you all about it right after this.
Just in case you missed it live.
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 In case you miss it live, I'm not fake, I'm so real, okay?
Hey, who's excited?
She's a little superhero slut because she's so. I just pissed everybody off.
She's like such a glamazon.
Join the writer team because you are hot.
And I loved it.
That is like tension beyond belief. I found her to be deliciously out of control.
We were all just looked at each other, just like, ah.
So we can assume that you've written letters to inmates before.
Give me the diamonds. I need them for my wife.
Take charge and kill everyone.
This Holocaust coffin!
You were agreeing with me, so I think it was a great point.
good.
You know, you can't count anything out.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
What's your shoe size? My size.
Well, that was pretty awesome.
Oh my God.
Very cool.
Totally.
That was just a little taste of what we're going to be bringing you at theStream.tv all year long. After shows, you name it, we got it. In fact, if you guys want to tweet us right now, we'll even create content based on your wants and needs. We're like Netflix, only here, only better.
Better.
And you don't have to pay $7.99 or $10 a month, however much it is now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We're free,
Exactly.
so-
Exactly. By the way, I still don't remember the movie, so by the time this episode is over, we'll try to.
We're gonna try and think about it.
Besides,
We've been
like
discussing.
Superman and Spider-Man and every father or something, but there was a specific moment when he's like, "You're my dad," and then everyone just breaks off.
If anyone can remember it, what it was from that,
Tweet us.
Dylan,
Let
if you
us
want to do
know.
it again for us as a perfect.
And relieve him of all the stress he's feeling right now.
Ah,
Not being able
it's
to.
getting to me. So we got some fan questions out here, and you guys can send us your fan questions as well. We want to give a big shout out to Gamer Ozzy. He wants to know, kind of based on how we opened the show, that seeing that Harrison Wells gives a slight smirk at the Flash Crisis headline, could he be in cahoots with the Reverse Flash? So maybe he's not the Reverse Flash, and maybe he's just his present day,
Version.
consigliere. I guess.
Consultant. He's like, hey, what's going on in like 2014? He's like, not much. What's going on in 2024? Where everything's going wrong.
Well, it's hard to say because as we said for the cosmic treadmill earlier, we don't really know if that's the cosmic treadmill. But dealing with the Flash, when you see a treadmill, the first thing you think of is the damn cosmic treadmill. That's what everybody thinks. But Harrison Wells is already lying to us. Every time he sits in that wheelchair, it's a lie. Okay, so he's gonna put on a lie. And now suddenly he went from "stay here, I need you" to "support him, do not doubt him. We need him to be the best." In my mind, I feel like maybe his future self might have came and visited and be like, "Look, let him explore his powers. The more stronger he gets, the better we get."
It's
Something
almost like
that,
the more that his future self is learning, the more he's relaying back to him to kind of change the
there's
strategies
something
of
about
what's the best for him.
of how to weave his and Barry's life into helping him.
Because when you think about it, who has a treadmill that can go 1,000 miles an hour just sitting in a lab? I don't know what animal can run that fast. I don't know if he doesn't have any cars in there. He can't drive. I mean, maybe we got a little stick thing. But like, you know what I'm saying? So I doubt he's testing automobiles.
But they also created it to help him to measure his what was going on with him while he was creating his dizzy spells, which was finally answered in this
Yeah, which
episode
was
as
great.
well.
And those protein bars look
Those
awesome.
protein bars,
Send
gotta
it
get
over to
me
the
some of
Stream After
them,
Show. That's a great
CW.
marketing thing for the
imagine! I don't know if
CW
anybody
crew.
out there takes protein. I take protein sometimes. Just imagine
so
the dope
thick. Could
he
you
has to
imagine-
take after
Oh
that.
my God!
You just got to think
Just
about
a
it.
solid rock.
Wow, you went there.
Oh, you had to. Like, you probably on the toilet like,
I'm glad they addressed that because in the comics, you know, whatever, if it's Wally or Barry,
He's always eating,
keeping
himself.
Oh my
That's really
gosh.
funny. The next fan question comes from @Nuombo, Numobi. Do you think that Hive will be on the show since Caitlin Snow is on the show? Now, why don't we go ahead and explain to the fans out there what Hive is?
Ooh, Hive is one I'm not so iffy about. I know it's an organization in there, kind of like I personally related to like Hydra in Marvel. You know, it's something that's always fishy. I could be wrong, guys. Let us know.
So they're not necessarily a good guy.
Yeah,
They're
I know
considered
Caitlin
good
Snow
guys.
is
the leader, like the head
Killer
of it.
Frost,
Right.
and she's definitely a villain. So associating with Hive, you know, and then the
Do
whole
you think they're going to
Firestorm
bring more
thing.
people in, though? I don't think they. I mean, they could. Don't get me wrong. I could be completely wrong, but they're going to bring in another group of bad guys. That we
Well,
have
what's
to
the
keep in touch
difference
with.
between Hive and the Rogues?
Yeah.
Well, the Rogues is a specific, like, elite select few with all the little metahuman powers and whatnot. And in the comics, mainly weapons. They weren't really metahumans all the time. But in the show, they're going to probably be metahuman.
I just still think it's crazy that every single person that the Flash seems to trust is actually a villain. Like all of
Except,
them.
I'm going to say Vibe, except Vibe. I said he was a villain just because in the show I feel like they would make him a villain. But one of the fans had brought up something to me.
they were like all up in that.
Because I was like, okay, let me rephrase that. In the comics, what I have read is that they joined him into the Justice League because of his potential at being a villain. They wanted to kind of nip that in the butt before it started. So he became a hero. But I think, you know, I mean, we see what the network's doing with the show now. It's still fabulous, don't get me wrong, but I could see them using that as like maybe he was a temporary villain or something, and then he becomes a... So if they do go with the Vibe course, you know, who knows? But everyone else so far seems like they might be a villain of some sort.
I think Cisco's that comedy, was what I'm looking for, comedic relief right now.
I just think
hilarious.
it's-
Every little thing that he says, he can't remember what he said, but right at the beginning of this episode, it was...
Yeah, he was funny.
It's almost like he gets off at like creating scientific stuff. Oh, when he was talking about his diet, and then it's like, dude, that's like equivalent to 850 tacos. But wait, with cheese and
Guacamole!
guacamole, that's a whole new set of like, it's just
Wait, was that your
hilarious.
American/Hispanic accent?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, what?
kind of. I've
You
been
should work
working
on
on
that.
it. I've
You
been
should
working
work
on
on
it.
it.
Sorry.
It was still pretty, though. It was still pretty.
All right, let's go to our fan question. Guys, you can send us your questions right now on YouTube, Twitter, and we're going to pull it up right now. Just like this came from 2013 Van Jix. Do you think that Wells is cobalt blue? Devon.
I doubt that. I mean, maybe we see all the plots and twists on it, but I doubt they'd go as in-depth as Cobalt Blue.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem... Reverse Flash is the obvious, like,
Well,
Batman
who is
got
cobalt
Joker.
blue? Who is cobalt blue?
For me personally, I just kind of... I don't really focus too much on Cobalt Blue.
Not
I mean,
as-
I-
it's
I-
one of the different-
He's not one of
Is it
the
one of-
substantial
yeah, it's one of the
speedsters
different
to me.
villains.
you
Basically,
know.
he's not a big enough villain
Yeah.
to take on the Flash.
Yeah.
Wait,
to
when
me.
the Flash goes blue, that's his name, cobalt blue?
No, Flash, when he goes blue, it's because of a lantern ring, but that's going on
Yeah,
a whole
that's got
different...
way
That's going to be good.
Yeah.
Different spectrum.
But that is dope. But you know, it's a whole different spectrum. But Cobalt Blue is another one of the speedsters. Like I said, I don't pay too much attention to him. I don't know his importance, but I know like Savitar and like
Yes.
Reverse Flash, regular Flash. There's like 4 of them. You know,
The
it's
main
so
guys.
many more speedsters to focus on. Cobalt Blue isn't one that it makes too much of an impact to me.
Gotcha.
That's a
But
good
like I
question,
said,
though. I'll give him
it
that.
was a
If
great
it comes
question.
out to be Cobalt Blue,
Great
then-
question.
I respect your
you'll be
fandom.
all over that.
We were
Like, you've
fooled.
destroyed all of us on that one. Yeah.
Guys, you've been tweeting at us all day on Twitter, so we want to give a big shout out to BLMM Govern and 94 Beyond. That sounds like it could be a comic title as well. And Clue 12SYR. I want to know how you guys come up with your Twitter names.
I know, it's impressive.
Mine,
Very unique.
What's ours? Our
Mine's
names?
like my name.
Mine is my name, first and last
My
name with
name.
an initial in there.
Okay, we do have one more fan question because you guys just are not stopping. So keep the questions coming. Remember to use the hashtag #TheFlashAS. Eric Quarto wants to know, now what if Hunter Zolomon is responsible for turning Eddie Thawne into the Reverse Flash? Is that a possibility? Being that he's in the family, he's kind of making Barry, he's has a good position to
Edging
make
him
Barry.
towards it
Right.
a little bit.
You know, he's dating his girl. He's kind of the dad's partner. It's a pretty good position for him to become. And we know in the comics, Eobard Thawne.
Well, he's definitely in a
is the man.
position of authority, you know, so he definitely, what he says, you know, does...
Makes a difference.
It does, exactly.
It has
exactly.
some form of sincerity.
Hey,
to it.
Kyrdo, I just want to say good freaking job with that question, because I didn't think of that. But, I mean, I guess, you know, Eddie, Eobard, or however you say it, I say Eobard. But,
Did he
I
stump
didn't-
the ultimate Flash
No,
fan?
no, I'm not stumped. Don't
Whoa.
watch yourself, girl. Don't
No,
make me,
I think
come
it
on now.
makes sense the way the show is
But
playing out so far.
I could see that happening. It
Yeah.
just, I don't know. Maybe the show might do it, but Eobard was actually the first Reverse Flash. He didn't need Hunter Zolomon had nothing to do with
There's
it.
not enough of a connection
so it's not
between that,
enough of a
either
connection.
for- yeah.
But that would be interesting to see because you can't
if
throw,
something was to unravel into that, I
like you don't
completely
run
agree
into a
with
lot
that.
of Thawns in your life. So to throw the last name Thawn in there,
Right.
we only know one Thawn.
But I think that's
in
kind of
there.
what's cool about, you know, the CW doing this show is that they
Yeah.
don't have to follow everything to the letter. Like, that's what makes it really exciting for all the DC fans is that there could be little twists that you're not used to.
Yeah, you could know as much as Devon about the Flash, but the CW will change.
So I'll
your
tell you
life.
what, Eric, I think you might be right. The way it's going, you know, because originally if you know the show, you're going to think Eddie Thawne is the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
Then, okay, maybe he's just a red herring. Maybe they want
It's a
us to
distraction,
think he
it's a
is
decoy.
because now Harrison Wells, Hunter Zolomon is. But now, given that we all think it's now Harrison Wells and, you know, Eddie Thawne is just laying low, getting it in with Iris West, I can see him using him to
Don't
manipulate
say
and
that
getting
out loud.
himself in.
Don't say- That hurts me when you
Oh,
say
well,
that.
they getting it in.
They
I don't
getting
wanna hear
it.
that. Don't say that. That hurts me.
Meanwhile, Iris West is being like, well, not that there's anything wrong with dating my dad's partner, but
There's so
honey,
much
there
wrong
is.
with
There's
dating
a
your
little
dad's
wrong with
partner.
that,
Yeah.
so that's another story. This week we had some casting news. Like I mentioned earlier, Victor Garber has now been cast as one half of Firestorm. Now, I just want to throw to Devon, what does one half of Firestorm mean?
All right, well, in the comic books, okay, and I'm pretty sure the show's gonna go this route because they already casted 2 people for him. So Ronnie and Martin Stein, Ronnie's last name is Stein, it's like Ronnie Raymond, Martin
Right.
Stein, okay? They are involved in an accident, okay, the nuclear accident, and Martin Stein is unconscious during the accident. They mold together atomically, okay, anatomically, whatever the word is.
Make it up.
But Ronnie becomes like the main part of Firestorm, and Martin becomes more of a subconscious. You know, but they battle back and forth.
okay.
Because he was unconscious, he was alive and well, doing all kinds of stuff. So they molded together, which the same accident was the one that technically created Danton Black, aka
Yeah.
Multiplex.
Cool.
But you know,
And
different
that was in the
route.
Hudson nuclear.
Yeah, so right now we think Ronnie's dead, the fiance, and Martin Stein is gone. Really, they're gonna eventually come back as Firestorm. So
Great, so we're really looking
That's
forward
gonna
to
be
that.
great to
Another
see.
casting news was Andy Mientus has now been cast as Pied Piper. Andy was on, he was in the show Smash on NBC, and he's actually going to be playing Hartley Rathaway, who's the Pied Piper,
Yes.
also a villain, but he's also an openly gay character. So, throw it to Lauren, how do you feel about an openly gay character coming into the superhero world and being on TV? And you know, lately we've seen the positive effects of that. So how do you think it's going to play into the Flash?
I honestly think it's great. I think that, you know, every single different type of person should be portrayed. Like, why can't they be a hero or a villain as well? I don't think that there's any reason why they couldn't be. And I think that alludes also to a lot of other storylines and plot twists that can happen that maybe couldn't happen if he wasn't. So
That's what I'm interested to see as well. Like,
Yeah.
we've seen the brute, we've seen the good-looking guy, we've seen the charmer, we've
What
seen the
other
nerd.
kind of, yeah,
What kind of
superheroes
superhero
are
can we
there?
do?
Yeah.
A gay superhero.
Yeah.
He's like a whole opposite
a whole
side.
thing. Actually, that's kind of,
It's going to be so.
I can only imagine how that's
No,
going to
so
be played.
in the comic universe, we have seen lately that coming to play. And the reason we bring it up is because it's time for our brand new segment.
Whoa.
Now, this is called Dreamcasting, and it's the hashtag Stream Dreamcasting. Now, what we're going to do every week is go around the room and decide and let the audience know who our dream casting choice would be in Zack Snyder's DC Universe. For example, today, we're going to go around the room and explain to you who our dream casting choice is to play the Flash in Zack Snyder's Justice League movie and DC Universe. But it doesn't end there, because after the show, you can go to theStream.tv and vote for which one of our choices you agree most with. But not only that, you can have your voice heard as well and send in your fan pick to be featured right on this show. So, what do you think, guys? Should we get to it? You want to know who our fan picks are? I'm sorry, dream casting picks. We're going to go over and start with Devon. Who do you want to see in Zack Snyder's DC Universe?
Oh, well, me? Okay, all right. Well, originally, I had, when they told me this, I started going through and I was like picking for all 4. I was picking Jay Garrick, Barry Allen, Wally West, and Bart Allen. But I was like, you know what, let me try to shorten it. We're talking about Barry right now. Okay.
that
I
sounds
went
like a
through
teacher's
lot.
pet thing to do to me, Devon.
What?
You're going to pick for all 4?
I did.
Yeah,
I picked all 4.
I'm going to do them all.
Yeah. Say what you want, but I picked all 4. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna just say can I say all 4?
You can, all right, start with the other 3, but then just mention them, and then explain your choice for.
Okay. Well, for Jay Garrick, I picked Bradley Cooper.
Okay, next.
And then for Barry Allen, I picked. It was like tied between like 5 guys. I'll say Luke Evans.
Okay, now you got to stick with him because you just said him.
Okay, I'll stick with Luke Evans for Barry Allen. For Wally West, I picked Chris.
Do the audience a favor. Why Luke Evans? Why Luke Evans?
Well, I mean, because I feel like the people that I did want have already been utilized as certain characters in Marvel and DC universes, and it would become shitty seeing them reused repetitiously.
Can we just throw up that photo again? Let's see what Luke Evans would look like in the Flash uniform.
Now, turn him blonde. That's all you need. He's already in good shape. We all saw Dracula Untold, okay? And I feel like he can do a serious type actor because Barry Allen isn't the comedic one that Wally West did.
Right.
And I feel like if they went somewhere like, for example, originally I wanted Ryan Reynolds as Wally West, but I saw him as Hal Jordan. I can't have that no more.
Ruin that now.
I think we're going to see Luke Evans play a superhero sooner
day.
than later anyway. Jack, what do you think?
Right, my shout was Bradley Cooper. One of my favourite actors personally. I've always loved Bradley Cooper. Absolutely great. As you can tell, look at him. Stunning man, don't get me wrong. And I think if you dyed that hair just a little bit blonde, put him in the shape that he was in the A-Team, you know what I'm talking about,
I know what
Lauren.
you're talking
Lauren knows
about.
what I'm talking about. He was ripped. He had all them pounds that Devon wanted. He had all them pecs that Lauren wanted. And look at them piercing blue eyes. I mean, I'm sorry, he just looks like the Flash. He just looks like the Flash.
I just want to say something. I messed up. I meant when I said Jake Garrick, I meant to say Matthew McConaughey. I'm sorry, because he's older. Older guy, older face, but still good shape.
Okay.
When I said Bradley Cooper, it's because I saw on the screen.
You
my
saw
bad.
me. No, Bradley Cooper's my man.
That's not who I meant to say. I meant to say Matthew McConaughey for Jake Garrick.
You're off the hook. It's okay.
Yeah, it's
Matthew
okay.
McConaughey,
It's
he's
okay.
up to Lincoln
It's
heads.
okay.
He's not mad at you.
Yeah.
No, but
Lauren, what do we think?
Go, Lauren.
Okay, so here's my thing. So I got, you know, the muscle and everything that you're talking about, you know, but you even put up someone that had, you know, a good physique, whatever, but my guy actually has blonde hair, okay? I first saw him in I Am Number 4, so he's already kind of done action, you know, type of movies or whatever, where he has some superpowers. Alex Pettyfer, I think he also has blue eyes. I mean, look, hello.
And you want him
Those
as
are
Wally
ads.
West.
And you want him as Wally West?
Yes.
How the hell would you pick the blonde for the redhead?
It's all good.
No, that's not okay. Okay?
No,
God damn it.
I think
Barry
that
Allen.
it's one of those things where, like, with the complexion, it works.
I know, it's ain't about complexion.
thinner
Wally West
as
is a
well.
redhead. I want to see a redhead. I already got Barry Allen over here with Grant Gustin, his little brown hair, running around there. He ain't got no blue eyes. He ain't got nothing, okay? He's going for Barry Allen if that's what we're picking, okay? We're going to get this straight right now.
Well,
fair,
it's
that's fair,
time
that's fair,
for the official
The
pick
one that
and the
actually
one that only
counts.
matters. And the one that's going to happen
The
because
one-
you know what? I just have a sixth sense about these things. And my pick for the Justice League Flash, I'm going with Wally West as the character. I'd love to see Wally West, and it's Ryan Quanten. Now, if you guys have watched True Blood, you know Ryan can play that funny guy. He's really athletic. He's really good looking. He's actually on the shorter, slimmer side, which I like for the Flash because he is a speedy guy, and he really, really can add his comic relief to, we know the Zack Snyder universe to be a little bit of darkness to it. But we are not done yet because we have the fan pick. So guys, send us who you think you would want to be for our next week's Dreamcasting pick, and we're going to get to who that will be in a second. But for the Flash, our fan chose Jensen Ackles to be, and that's Forever Johnny Boy. Thanks, Forever Johnny Boy.
Yes.
We talk to him every day. He wants Jensen Ackles to be Wally West as well. What do you guys think about Jensen Ackles? I think he's going to be a superhero sooner than later.
He's
as
got-
well.
I feel like so many people are
He
gonna
has
be
the
superheroes
jawline.
sooner or
It's
later.
all about the jaw. I feel like if you have that kind of square, chiseled jaw,
You'll be
you can
the
be a
super-
superhero.
Do you know what, mate? I'm sorry, I just thought about this like seconds ago. What would make me Jonah Hill as Wally West? Tell me that wouldn't be the funniest character for Wally West.
Devon's going to have a nervous
nervous
breakdown. All right. So that is how our dream casting segment works, guys. Now, for next week, after the Flash After Show, we're going to do the same exact thing, except for Green Lantern. So that's why, you know, Ryan Quanten, for me, as Wally West, is going to go good with my Green Lantern pick, but you got to stay tuned till next week of who that's going to be. So, guys, for you to get your voice heard and get featured on this show of who you want your Green Lantern dream casting choice to be, go ahead, hit us up, use the hashtag TheFlashAS and the hashtag DreamStreamCasting. Woo! I'm so happy. That was the best thing of all time.
That
It's
dream
awesome.
suit, yeah.
Great new segment. Go
Brand
team.
new segment.
Ryan Quanten all day. Ryan Quanten all day. But
Alex
guys,
Pettyfer.
you can vote for who you want to be. In fact, who you agree most with by going to theStream.tv right now. The poll is open right now.
Let
Go
us
there
know.
to the website. Vote for who you agree most with, because we want to know who reigns supreme on this cast.
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper's a good.
You know he's the one.
Because he was one of
Exactly.
my top 10. I had like 100 people lined
Bradley
up.
Cooper's a good
but
He was spoken about
he was-
like in
he was
Hollywood
pretty
talks.
good,
He's
yeah.
the
I
man.
think it'd be, yeah. And he's got the charming aspect to him. He's got the down-to-earth kind
Well, I
of
mean, I
character
think
to him
Alex
as well.
Pettyfer, just in general, he would be a great Barry
I think
Allen.
he'd be a
I
great,
think
don't
he'd
get
be
me
a
wrong,
great
he'd be
Barry
great
Allen.
as well.
So we can
He'd be a
kill
lot
him.
more aesthetically
Well,
pleasing.
Alex
I think Alex Pettyfer would be a lot more
Pettyfer is no.
aesthetically pleasing.
I'm not a gossip guy. I'm not gossipy. But Alex Pettyfer is like notorious for being a little bit of a prick on set. So I don't know if you can have an asshole being a superhero.
That put him as Bart Allen, and we can kill him. There you go.
Oh, there he goes. That'll make it Devon Howard.
Because he kind of looks like a young Bradley Cooper.
I guarantee you this conversation is going to continue after we get out of here, but we got to. Thank you guys for being here. That concludes episode 2 of The Flash After Show.
It's been a
We
pleasure.
loved having you guys. You let us get over 30,000 views last week, and we only plan on increasing. So be sure to subscribe to theStream.tv. Hit us up on Twitter, TheFlashAS, Stream Dreamcasting, all that. Follow us on Twitter. That is it from here in Hollywood. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Mwah.